Okay, sixth grade, our objective today is to continue solving one-step equations with addition and subtraction. Also move on to solving one-step equations with multiplication and division. We have scheduled right now your Chapter 2 test for this Friday. After today, we really only have one more new lesson. Then we're going to spend a couple of days practicing equations as well as reviewing. So I think that we will have a review game for this chapter since there was some new material. Also, another announcement just to remind you, Wednesday, October 17th, there is not any math class. Okay, no accelerated math class just that day due to the PSAT testing. Charles? That's in Chapter 3. Yes, I agree. I'm really excited for that too. I think it's the third lesson. We're moving fast. We're getting there. Okay, let's go over the warm-up. Okay, number 1, Matt. Good. Emma M, number 2. Good. Alex, number 3. Good. -11. Zach, number 4. Good. Sean, number 5. Number 5. I think you forgot the 2 negatives back to back is a positive. Okay, I already kind of have it up here. So -19 is number 5. Annalise, number 6. Good. Charles, number 7. Good. Number 8, Mary. Good. Adam, number 9. Good. Justin, number 10. Good. Doug, number 11. Okay. Emma H, number 11. No. Okay. Who? Raise your hand if you got to 11. Alyssa. Good. Donatus, number 12. Number 12? No. This one's a little bit hard. Justin, what'd you get? Good, 20. Number 13 should be -14. Number 14 is 62. 15 is 35. 16 is -12. 17 is 16. 18 is -50. Okay, you did not have to have all these done. Remember, the point of a warm-up is to come in, practice the concept from the previous day or lesson, depending on what day it is. So on the problems you did, if you did not find your own mistake, what questions do you have? So make sure you look at it, because you might be able to figure out what you did wrong. Annalise? Yep. Yep. Okay, so just like we did on Friday, let me look at, let's do number 11. So the very first thing you do on the second column is combine like terms. 5 minus 11 is -6. So x minus 6 equals -1. And then add 6 to both sides, you get 5. Okay? Don't forget, guys, you can look back in your notes if you forget something. Everything is always in your notes. Charles? Okay, then hold that thought. Any other questions on the warm-up? Emma M? Number 4. Okay, number 4, 2 negatives back to back is a positive. So this is really h plus 8 equals 3. So then to get 8 to the other side, you subtract it. Yep, 2 negatives back to back is a plus. Okay. Yep. Adam. Okay, pick one. Okay. All right, 14. Very first thing you need to do, Adam, is combine like terms. Okay. Did you forget that? So 40 equals x minus 22, and then add 22 to both sides. Or the very first thing you could do is flip around the whole thing to make sure x is on the left. You okay? It's Monday. We're just combine like terms first always. Sean? Yep. Yep, so when you flip it, it would be x plus 6 minus 28 equals 40. So like this whole term would go on the left, this whole thing would go on the right, and then put the equal sign between it. Annalise? So after you combine like terms, 5 minus 11 is -6. You then need to add 6 to both sides. -1 plus 6 is 5. Okay, anyone else on the warm-up? Questions? Okay, let's go over your homework. So let's go to practice 2.4. Okay, so there were 2 assignments you guys had, so we'll start with the first one. Briar, when you're there, could you tell us what you got for number 1 for 2.4? Good job. 11 minus y equals -9. Number 2, Justin. Good job. Jeremy, number 3. Good job. Emma H, number 4. 18p, you mean? Okay, good job. Doug, number 5. Good. Matt, number 6. Good. Number 7 is no. Number 8 is no. Number 9 is B, which is A equals 72. Number 10 is C, which is A equals 18. Number 11 is D, which is A equals 34. Number 12 is A, which is A equals 38. Before I go to 2.5, questions on 1 to 12. Emma? That's fine. You didn't have to, but that's fine. That works with me. Okay, everyone's okay? Okay, let's go to practice 2.5. Annalise, could you tell us what you got for numbers 1, 2, and 3? Good. Good job. Sean, could you tell us what you got for numbers 4, 5, and 6?
H equals 8, G equals -29, and D equals -19.
Awesome. Briar, 7, 8, 9. For practice 2.5. Good. Good. Awesome job. Numbers 10, 11, and 12. 10 is 2, 11 is 7, 12 is 41. Alex, can you tell us what you got for 13, 14, and 15? Awesome job. Okay, Alyssa, 16. Good job. 18 years old. I also have the expression written up there if you need it. Justin, number 17. Good job. $2.50. Doug, number 18. Good. 137 players. So we'll flip to the next page. Okay, Mary, could you tell us what you got for the next 3? Good job. Donatus, the next 3. Awesome. Emma M, the next 3. Okay. Okay. Good job. Okay, who would like to tell us the answers to the word problem? Charles? Good. Awesome. Perfect. All right. On practice 2.5, what questions do you have, Annalise?
On number 20, and I also had number 16.
That's fine. That's fine. Another way of writing it. Because, okay, so you ended up with -n equals 0. We're going to talk about today how to get rid of the negative. Okay, but to get rid of the -1, you have to divide both sides by -1. We're going to do this today. So 0 divided by -1 is just 0. -1 divided by -1 is +1, so those cancel. Don't worry about that. We're getting to that in about 5 minutes. Okay? Correct. Correct. So if that was the only thing you guys had trouble with, don't worry about it. That's today's lesson. I just wanted you to try them. Adam? Okay, go ahead. Neither positive nor negative. 25? Okay. 24? Sure? Okay. All right. 24 is a combine like terms problem. Did you forget to combine like terms first? Okay. Well, I'll do it anyways. So 18 minus 13 is 5. So 5 plus W equals negative 20. And then you subtract 5 from both sides, and you get W equals negative 25. So always combine like terms first. It'll allow you to not make little mistakes. Okay? Kind of avoid those. Emma M? 28A. Okay. 28A, the easiest way to do this is to come up with an equation. If a town has its water tower filled to the capacity, so the total amount it can hold is 300,000 gallons, they tell us after 30 days, the tower currently has 180,000 gallons. So we need to figure out the capacity after the first 30 days. So how much more can we put in there? X plus 180,000 equals 300,000. Oops. Allows us to figure out what the rest can be filled up to. So how much more can we fit in there? What's the capacity for the next whatever amount of days, depending on what they want? Does that make sense? That's one way to write it. There are several ways to write it. This probably makes most sense, though. Okay? Annalise? That's fine. Yep, same thing.
It says find the change in water capacity. Shouldn't it be water volume? Because the capacity, how much it can hold, always stays the same. So the volume.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. The book always uses the wrong wording at times. So yes. Mary? Okay. Okay. Well, do you understand what I just went over on 28? You sure? And then I'll go over number 23. You okay? Okay, 23. Negative 5 minus 11 minus h equals negative 7. Okay, so the very first thing you have to do is combine like terms. Negative 5 minus 11 is negative 16. Okay, so then the next thing you need to do is add 16 to both sides. Okay, so negative h equals 9. Now here's what today's lesson is. You probably left your answer with the negative here. Negative times what gives you 9 is basically what you're trying to ask yourself. There's really a negative 1 here. To get rid of it, you have to divide both sides by negative 1. So that's how you get negative 9. I know, that's today's lesson. That's okay. Don't worry about that. Charles? Yep. Technically. You may, Charles, yes. Doug? No. Do you have a question on the homework? No. Okay. Annalise? That's today's lesson. Okay, any other questions on the homework? Okay, put that away. Let's go to your notes on 2.6 so I can correctly explain to you guys how to get rid of a negative. I just, you guys know this by now. Sometimes I like to give you homework that kind of makes you try to think about the next lesson. So don't be nervous or afraid if you get to a problem that you didn't exactly see in class. Majority of the time you will, but sometimes I like to throw that challenge in to see if you can think through it. So we're only doing lesson 2.6 today. It's solving equations using multiplication and division, which is what we just looked at. Doug, at the end of class, you can tell me what you were going to say. Okay. Sean. No. Nope. The first time I give you guys one of those is after the first 4 chapters. Probably not until after 6. I do it when I think you guys need it. So when I think you're starting to forget things from a previous chapter or 2 chapters before, I give it to you. A class like this that's 2 years advanced does not need a cumulative exam after every chapter. It wastes too much time. You know what I mean? I will give you plenty of advance notice on that. I type I have review sheets typed as well as the test. So I have plenty of stuff we'll work on. Good question. All right, so 2-6. We're still solving a one-step equation, but now using multiplication and division. We already wrote down those definitions. That's a mistake in your notes. So you are looking at the box. You need to open up your notes. On page 15, that little box, you see where it says words? Here's what you need to jot down. The division PO, which is property of equality, is dividing each side of an equation by the same non-zero number, which produces an equivalent equation. So dividing the same side. What? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. Right, you guys can write what's up there or you can change it. It's up to you. Remember, don't worry about the definitions because we already wrote those down. So dividing each side of an equation by the same non-zero number produces an equivalent equation. So I'm going to, since you guys asked so many questions on the homework, here's the example that I want you to write down. Negative x equals 2. Since you guys had a lot of questions about this on the homework, what is really in between the negative and the x? This is why I like to do this on homework. Doug, what's in between the negative and the x? Say that again. Good, a 1. There's really a 1 hanging out here. Remember, that 1 likes to hide. There's really a 1 there. How do you get rid of the negative 1 following this property to get x by itself, Adam? Good. You need to divide both sides by negative 1. Hence the name division property of equality. To get rid of multiplication, the property that undoes multiplication is division. This is really negative 1 times x. To undo that, you divide it. Negative 1 divided by negative 1 is 1. That cancels. You're left with x equals 2 divided by negative 1 is negative 2. Annalise. It's right here. I didn't get rid of the x. I got rid of the negative 1. No, only on a problem like that. Okay. Emma? Yes, you may. Okay, let me do a couple more examples because that should answer your questions, guys. Is everyone okay with the definition here of division PO? To get rid of multiplication, you divide. Okay, so let's do a couple examples, and I probably will answer a lot of your questions. Okay, letter A, negative 7a equals 12. Charles, what's in between the negative 7 and the a? Nope, what's in between the negative 7 and the a? Well, you could say that, but what operation is between negative 7? Good. There's really an imaginary multiplication symbol there. Alex, how do you undo multiplication? Good. Division. To get rid of the negative 7, we divide both sides by negative 7. Remember, your goal in an equation is to get the letter all by itself. Negative 7 divided by negative 7 is positive 1. You're left with the a here. 12 over negative 7 is an improper fraction that cannot be simplified. So I don't care how you write your answer, but can someone tell me how to write that as a mixed number? What would the mixed number be, Annalise? 7. Always keep the same denominator. So if you want to write this as a mixed number, it's negative 1 5/7. You may also leave it as an improper fraction. I prefer that you do not change it to a decimal because I want you to leave the answer exact, which would mean keep it as a fraction, in this case an improper fraction or a mixed number. Emma M? Because the fraction's negative. Like the whole, remember, if a fraction's negative, that just means the whole thing's negative. Okay? Doug? That's not right. You have to do 12 divided by 7, which is negative 1.714. You divided it wrong. Remember, it's 12 divided by 7. But do not do that. I want you to keep your answer exact. Okay, Alex? Yeah. Okay, letter B. Alyssa, how do we get rid of the negative 6? Good. Divide it by negative 6. You have to get rid of it. To undo multiplication, you divide. Emma H., what is 48 divided by negative 6? Good. X is equal to negative 8. Too easy, right? Okay, let's skip C because I don't want to confuse you yet. Let's go to letter D. C is hard. We're going to do it in a second. Go to letter D first. Go to letter D first. All right. Jeremy, how do we get rid of the 12? Good. To get W by itself, remember, to undo multiplication, you divide. So divide both sides by 12. Adam, what is negative 96 divided by 12? Okay. I didn't know if you did it in your head. Nope. Matt? Good. What kind of 8? Good. That's okay, Adam. I thought you had an answer. So negative 8. Remember, you may use your calculator on this. Wrong C. That's Sean. Yep. Yep. To get the variable by itself. No, because you need to get rid of this number. So the goal is to get a 1 in front of the variable because the 1's always there. You just don't have to write it. If you divided it by the opposite, you'd be left with a negative here. Don't do that. You have to get the variable all by itself. Annalise? You're welcome. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. We're going to that right now. Okay, letter C. So this one's different, but I figure let's throw a challenge problem in there. Instead of a 1-step, this is a 2-step equation. The very first thing you need to do is ask yourself, are there any like terms to combine? So are there any like terms to combine? There's not. On this side of the equation, there's not any like terms to combine. On this side of the equation, there are not any like terms to combine. Which means you need to add or subtract first. We need to get the 3 to the other side. So the very first thing you do is add or subtract, get all the numbers to the right, keep all the x's on the left. This is a preview for tomorrow's lesson. If you don't get it completely, we're doing this tomorrow. This is not your homework tonight, so just listen. So we are left with negative 14a equals negative 18 minus 3 is negative 21. So add or subtract first. Now we multiply or divide. Zach, how do we get rid of the negative 14? What kind of 14? Negative 14. Always divide by that number because you need to get rid of it. Negative 14 divided by negative 14 is positive 1. So this goes away. You are left with A is equal to 21 over 14. However, we need to simplify. Charles? Hold on. Simplify for me first. 7 goes into both of them. Good job. Or you may write it as a mixed number, which is 1.5. Okay, Charles, go ahead and say your comment. What did you do? Yeah, that's just harder. You can do it that way. I know, you can do it that way. You're going to end up working with more fractions, which if it's okay with you, that's fine. Yep. Oh yeah, there's more than 2 ways to do it. Do not worry about this yet. Your homework tonight is not on this. Okay, I just wanted to go through it. We'll see more of these tomorrow. Annalise? Don't worry about it yet. We're going to get to that tomorrow, okay? I like to give you guys a heads up on things. We'll get to that tomorrow. Okay, here's what I want to spend the rest of class on. This definitely you'll see on your homework. So the multiplication property of equality. Multiplying each side of an equation by the same non-zero number produces an equivalent equation. To undo division, you need to multiply. Here's where fractions come into play, so I'm glad Charles brought up the fraction problem, because to get rid of fractions, which is division, you need to multiply. The 9th and 10th graders that I teach, they do not like solving equations with fractions. It's always a problem. So I stress throughout this year with you guys the importance of knowing how to get rid of a fraction and understanding why multiplication undoes a fraction. You will do extremely well with this by the end of the year, if not by the end of this chapter. Okay, so here's our example. X over 3 is equal to 5. So multiplying each side of an equation by the same non-zero number produces an equivalent equation. So we have x divided by 3 is equal to 5. We have a division problem. To undo division, you need to multiply. Anytime you see a fraction, if you take the denominator and if you multiply both sides of the equation by the denominator, it cancels the denominator. Well, why does it do that? Here's why. It's really like 3 over 1. 3 times x is 3x. 1 times 3 is 3. What's 3x divided by 3? Alyssa? Yeah, 1x. Therefore, this is pretty cool. The numbers cancel. If you multiply both sides by the denominator of a fraction, they cancel. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. Therefore, 5 times 3 is 15. You could ask yourself, is 15 divided by 3 5? Yep. It's very easy. So I'll say that again. If you multiply both sides by the denominator of a fraction, it cancels the denominator. And we're going to do a couple more examples. Charles, hold that thought for a second. Okay, let's look at letter A. Annalise, hold on one second. Okay, letter A. What's the very first thing we need to do on this? Adam. Flip it around. Do not solve it like this. So what Adam means is write the W over 7 on the left, write the 9 on the right. Sean, how do we get rid of the 7, which is the denominator? Okay. Zach, what happens to the 7 on this side? Good. Who can explain what I just did? Why does it cancel? Annalise, why does it cancel? Good job. 7 divided by 7 is 1. They cancel. You're left with Emma M. W equals? Good. You could think of it like that. Yeah. Good job. You could check your answers asking yourself, is 63 divided by 7 9? Yep. Annalise.
Shouldn't you do, like, what about the W and the 1? Like, 7 over 1. Wait, well, 1 times W is W, so just stay like 1.
Well, but the 1's gone. 1 times 7 is 7. 7 times 1W is 7W. So that's where we get 7W divided by 7 is just W, which you could also say is 1W. Remember, there's always a 1 here, but you don't need to write it. Is that what you mean? Okay.
Since you divided 7 by 7.
It's 1. Yeah. Right. You don't need to. It's gone. The 1's always there. You don't need to write it because you're solving for the variable. Okay. Jeremy?
If it's equivalent to one another, why do you do both sides of the problem when you do 3 of just?
Okay. Who can answer that? Anyone remember? Why do we have to do both sides? If it's an equivalent equation, why can't you just do it on one side? That's a great question. You guys should remember that from last week. Mary? It's a balance. It's an equation. Both sides are already equivalent. If you add 7 to one side, it's getting heavier. The scale's going down. you have to also do it to the other side. Your equation always has to be balanced. Does that make sense? So you have to be fair. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. Okay, Alyssa? Yeah, these are the easy ones. They're not always going to be this easy. But yes, very, very good thinking there. Yes. Doug, this is a question. You should have. You got to stay with me, but don't worry about it at this point. Okay, guys, can I go on to the next problem or just a question on this? Okay, Charles, go ahead real quick. Because okay, look, if you have a problem like this, you have 0 on the bottom, it's an undefined function. If you would multiply both sides by 0, it cancels the variable. Right, but you wouldn't be solving for anything. Plus, I'm going to get to this in chapter 8. You're not allowed to have 0 in the denominator. So just hold that thought. Yep. All right, next one. I want you guys to do this. Go ahead and do letter B. Go ahead and do letter B, please. Okay, raise your hand if you think you know what the answer is. And I think I should see most of your hands up. Matt, what'd you get? Good job. Alex, what did Matt do on both sides of the equation? Say that again. Not divide. Yep. Did you multiply by 3 on both sides? Remember, to get rid of a denominator of a fraction, you need to multiply both sides by the denominator. Remember? Is that what you meant? Okay, so you get b equals negative 63. Annalise? Okay, we're not there yet. We're not doing this. Nope. Any questions on B? Okay, I want to add in 2 problems if I didn't already. Let's start with this one. Okay, wherever you have room, go ahead and write this down. I'm going to do this and then one more because remember, what I do in class will be on your homework. At least similar problems, I should say. Okay, just like we did on Friday, what do we do first on a problem like this? What do we do first on a problem like this, Alyssa? Good. Combine like terms. You always ask yourself first, can we combine like terms on one side of the equation? Yep. W divided by 8 is equal to 13. Please don't forget, a lot of you guys forgot this on your warm-up. 2 negatives back to back is a positive. Immediately change them to a plus. At this point, Sean, how do we get rid of the 8? Awesome. Who can tell me what the answer is? Alex? Say that again. I just didn't hear you. 100? Good job. W is equal to 104. I just couldn't hear you. Question? You okay? Okay, want to do one more because the next type of problem, which I think I have somewhere, you'll see on your homework. So go ahead and write this one down wherever you have room. This is the last type. X divided by 1 plus 2 equals 4. Yeah, I mean, it is pretty easy. I just want to make sure that there's not any issues when doing your homework tonight. Donatus, what do you think you need to do first? Right, all right, this is real hard. What's 1 plus 2?
27.
Okay, X, I shouldn't have asked that. X over 3 equals 4. All right, Emma H, now what? This is our ticket to the buses. Now what? Great job. Multiply both sides by 3, the bottom of the fraction. It cancels. X is equal to 12. You could check your answer by taking your 12, plugging it back in. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. You're right. Open up your homework packet to 2.6, please. The other problems we will do probably tomorrow. But you know everything you need to know to do your practice 2.6. Let me look at it. Yep, front and back, there's 19 problems. So it's all of it, but because some of you guys forget there's a back, I figure I write the numbers down. 1 to 19, there's some word problems, but they're not anything challenging that you can't do without me helping you. So take your time on solving the equations. Go through the rules we did today. Remember, division undoes multiplication. Multiplication undoes division. Okay, to get rid of a fraction, multiply both sides by the denominator and it cancels. Got it? Okay, you have a minute to get packed up. Good job today. Don't forget, tests on